Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
How are you feeling, Selma?
Man, I love this song. I'm feeling absolutely amazing. Feel happy to be here, excited to be here, and so happy to be back. How are you?
Likewise, so happy to be here. It's been quite a week, and it's just a breathe to be back here with you
Mhm.
and with our birdies, with my cup of tea.
Well,
Mm-mm-mm.
with a cup of coffee, as it should be always. Don't get the tea part. Don't get it. Absolutely.
So today, I actually went for a chai masala from
Ooh,
Ethiopia.
ooh.
Super spicy, really good, and perfect for this coldish weather. So, yes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I went for my dark, hot, and super black coffee. Rich and just full of life, right?
I choose tea all day, every day.
Whatever,
Go
we'll go with
team
coffee. But
tea,
anyways,
okay? Team tea.
now let's talk some real talk about coffee here today. Jokes aside. Welcome guys to our second episode of this podcast. We are super happy to be here and super happy to have you back here with us. And today we are having a very interesting topic. And that is today we're going to dive into something that every multicultural woman knows all too well, and which is the feeling of living between two worlds and how that can tear you maybe apart or like tore you in between at least.
Absolutely. And we all love our cultures. We all love our families, our roots, but we
Mm,
also want to live in a way that honors who we truly are. And
mm,
sometimes these two things don't really align and they don't really go well together, unfortunately.
no, and let's be honest, I mean, the culture clashes that we talk about, that they don't always have to be super big and massive and loud and disruptive. They can also be very subtle, they can be very camouflaged into something else, really. So that can be very different depending on where you are, who you are, and how you are navigating the whole thing.
Hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And echoing that, maybe, it can be experienced in um, being expected, for instance, to choose a respectable career or
Mm,
respectable, quote unquote, right, based on their expectations, or get married at a certain age, or
mm,
always put your family first and prioritize your family over yourself. And then on the other side comes what you actually want, what you desire, whether it's freedom, whether it's independence, or being creative, just walking like your own path, really.
mm. Absolutely. And just to like for those the silent and the quiet ways of recognizing this, it can be the guilt that you feel inside
Mm, mm,
because you want one thing but your culture wants you to want another thing, so you feel maybe ashamed, you feel hesitant about your choices in life,
mm.
and not to forget to mention the pressure that you may feel that you need to live up to certain expectations. So yeah, so today's episode, we are going to help you map those expectations
Mm.
so you kind of understand exactly what's pulling you into different directions and maybe hopefully even make you realize which direction you want to go on. And so it's based on really who you are and align with your authentic self.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that. But before we get into the mapping of expectations, how about sharing our own experiences first. So,
Yeah.
Selma, I'm 100% sure, knowing you as well as I do, that you've experienced cultural clashes countless times already.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing one of those experiences with us? And also, it would be great for our listeners to hear how you managed to navigate through that.
Sure thing. All I can say is grab your coffee or coffee and you know, sit back and listen now. But sure, of course, as you mentioned, I have a few experiences, and basically, coming to Sweden as a 10-year-old from another culture, and kind of the whole upbringing was really categorized by that whole culture clash, and me having two different cultures to kind of balance and juggle and all that stuff. So I have quite a long period of that experience, so to say. And in that, it can really be anything from the smallest to the biggest thing in your life. But as you mentioned, as it is a career choice or whatever. But for me, at some point, it was the choice of my partner, really, like who I fell in love with. And that didn't really align with my culture's expectations. It
Mm.
didn't really align with what they expected of me to meet what kind of a partner that would have been. Like it wasn't aligned with a typical Bosnian man and stuff and stuff and stuff. So I kind of had to go through that battlefield within myself, with my own culture and with my current culture, and try to figure out who I was in all that, and just to not betray myself, but also not to betray my culture. And this was very painful. It was a painful process, to be
I can
honest.
imagine. I can.
Definitely. So, and some people maybe were hurt along the way, including myself. But yeah, here we are today, and I feel stronger and truer, to be honest, to myself.
And happier, I'd
And happier,
say.
absolutely. Freer, like totally free. Yeah. So that's my story, really. Just the choice of partner, I would say, is the biggest clash, because it didn't really fall into the boxes of the expectations from my culture.
Makes sense. Makes
Mm.
sense. But I'm so happy to hear how you managed to actually make it work and remain true to yourself and find happiness in the things that you truly believe in. So,
Mm. You.
there's nothing more than we can ask for, really. So, yeah, thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
That was
So how
fabulous.
about you? I would love to hear your stories as well. I'm sure you have some good ones on
Where to
in your
start?
pocket. Huh?
Where to start? Damn. I feel like my whole life is a cultural clash. No, but more seriously though, um, yeah, the way I live my life, like most of the things that I do, most of the things that I believe in or that I live by, do not necessarily align with the cultural expectations that I've grew up with, right? And thinking back, if I was to choose one experience um, that could be worth sharing here, I
Mm.
would say, yeah, choosing to end my marriage, for instance. That's a big one,
Yeah,
right?
that's a big thing. Yeah.
Choosing to end my marriage with a, yeah, newborn baby, actually.
Yeah.
When most people wouldn't understand why I would make
Mm.
such a drastic choice. Why would I decide to raise my child on my own? Why would I decide not to remarry?
Mm.
And so on and so forth, right? Um, so, yeah, that's one thing that comes to mind, actually, that most people didn't understand.
Yeah.
Some still don't,
Mm.
and that's okay.
And that's okay. I think that's the most important thing. That's okay. Doesn't
Exactly,
have.
that's
I
perfectly
love that.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not my job to get them to understand my choices.
Mm.
As long as I remain true to myself, as
Mm,
long as I choose what's best for myself and my
mm,
daughter, which I did, and which I am so grateful for. And don't get me wrong, I didn't walk this path alone. I had
mm,
tremendous support from my family members. But
mm,
talking about cultural expectations as a whole, certain people didn't get it and still don't. And that's okay. Like I said earlier, as long as you remain true to who you are, as long
mm.
as you make the choices that work best for you, right,
Yes.
in that moment.
Mm,
Because the way I see it, and this is something that I say all the time, at any given time, we make the best choice we can, being who we are at that specific moment and knowing what we know at that time. That's
I
it.
love that.
That's all we can ask
Mm,
of ourselves,
yes.
knowing that we did the best we could with who we are, knowing
Mhm.
what we know,
Yes.
being where we are, standing where we are, because it's very easy to, misconstrued, misunderstand, judge people when we are not the ones walking the path they're walking. We're not the ones standing in their shoes, and we're
Hmm.
not them, right?
Yeah.
So, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's really, really important. I believe the most important thing here is really at your core,
Yeah.
knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, knowing what you want for
Mm,
yourself, for your life,
yes.
and being true to that. And that
Mm,
can, be closer to one end, closer
mm,
to the other one,
mm.
or be somewhere navigating somewhere in between. And it
Yes.
doesn't have to be constantly, you know, it doesn't have to be constant
Mm,
because situations are different,
yeah.
experiences are different. So, and from experience, that gives you a certain sense of peace.
Mm,
That's just, that's priceless.
yeah. There is a quote that I read that I really, really like and that resonates is like, you know, you made the right decision when there's peace in your heart. And I absolutely love that because that's basically how I manage my situation and other situations, regardless of what that is. So yeah, that's very, very true what you're saying. And obviously I I agree because it resonates. And
Mm.
I'm very proud of you and your journey and the choices and how you really gracefully navigate it. So it's really inspiring in so many ways.
Thank you, my darling. I
Yeah.
right back at you, I would say. I am also extremely, extremely proud of you, the choices you've made, and how you've grown through all of it,
Oh
right?
yes. Growth being the key, to be honest, and growth is painful and thinking back to that time when I was very young, of course, and when you're young it's everything is so you're so sensitive to a lot of things and not really rooted maybe in who you actually are, so all this confusion is stronger. But it was a painful process in many ways, but also very rewarding in many ways. It was
Mm,
also strengthening a lot of relationships. It was breaking some, but strengthening others, like getting closer to some people and, losing others, which is perfectly fine because they were never your people, really.
exactly. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Exactly. They were never your people.
They were never, and even if it's like related relatives,
Mhm.
it doesn't really matter,
Yeah,
honestly.
it does not, that's not what makes your people from
And I'm guessing,
experience.
yeah, exactly. And I'm guessing what we're trying to say with this also is that as a woman in general, you carry a lot of expectations,
Mm,
cultural from your family, from yourself, from your part, all of this. And then blending that with the two worlds, it gets even heavier. So we are kind of assigned to carry the load of families and cultures, which is kind of captive, like it captivates you. It's
mm,
like a little box, it's like a little cage that you
mm,
desperately want to break free from. And if not, if you're happy with the box, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it's not for you, it's not for you.
mm.
So yeah,
And that's the key.
that's
Finding
the
what's for you and
yeah.
living by that.
Exactly. So, and we all, I know that when we talk, we always say like a culture and tradition is a beautiful thing,
Yes.
but it's never supposed to captivate you and kind of um, how do you say that? Lost the word.
As in lock you
Cage
in,
you.
maybe.
Yeah, cage you.
Yeah, cage you.
So it's really all of it all comes down to what do you want? Who are you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And not to be all doom and gloom here, like we have beautiful cultures, all of them are
Yeah.
beautiful. And there are so many things that we love about it, right? And that's where the power and the beauty and the richness lies, having the freedom to actually pick and choose what works for you. And
Yes.
what works for you doesn't necessarily work for me, doesn't necessarily work for someone else. And that's okay.
That's perfectly fine. But I was thinking, I'm very curious about like the key moments, like the keys of how to navigate in such a situation.
Hmm.
Like when you have to make this decision of to going your own way against what could be your cultural expectations. Like how do you navigate? What's the key takeout from that, would you say?
As in, I'm not sure I fully understand your question, actually.
My question is like when when you find yourself in a situation where you have to make a decision that might disappoint your whole culture and go against
Hmm.
those, how do you which tools did you use to make that brave decision for yourself?
Hmm.
Am I clearer in my
Yeah, yeah,
question?
absolutely. And thank you for clarifying that. It was never easy. Then,
Mm,
of course, over time, as you do it more, you build
mm,
some sort of muscle memory, or however you want to call it. The more you do it, the easier it gets, right?
mm,
But at first, now I don't think about it anymore. But at first, yes, it was difficult. It was tough.
yeah,
And it was the case of sitting with myself
yes,
and being true to myself,
yeah,
right?
mm,
And being completely honest, like evaluating like what would be the consequence of me folding, as in
mm,
doing what they're expecting me to do.
yeah,
Who does it benefit?
yeah,
Does it benefit them or does it benefit me? Especially
mm,
on the long run. Who's gonna suffer the consequences?
I love that.
Right? Because
Suffer the
those are the
consequences.
key, exactly, those are the key questions. Because
Yes.
if doing what you expect of me will hurt me on the long run, well, it's quite clear what the decision is there.
Mm,
Especially going back to what we were saying earlier, I'm the one living this life, walking this path, not
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So it's all fine and dandy with all the suggestions, suggestions and the looks and the expectations, the ones that are said, the ones that are not said so loudly, the ones that are whispered, and
yeah,
all of it, and however, whatever form it may take. But at
yeah,
the end of the day, it's you and you,
yes.
right? And knowing that. And I guess you have to go through that at some point as well to know how it feels not to honor yourself.
Oof, oof, I know. Been there, done that. I can
Exactly.
disclose
So
that, and it hurts.
exactly. So it's
Oof.
not like just, it was so easy. Oh no, I've always done everything that, I was aligned with what I
Yeah.
want, with who I am, with my deepest desires. No, it has not always been the case. I
Mm,
had to do it the wrong way to know what the right way is, or the
mhm.
hard way to know what like the right path for myself was. What about you?
Oof. You touched on it absolutely, because for me at that moment, in that particular situation, I remember asking myself, okay, so you have choices. We all kind of always do have choices. So I had a choice. I had a choice to um, follow through the expectations of the whole culture part, or stay true to what I believe was right and what I believed in and how I wanted to live my life, and if whether that was aligned with my values or not. And so I made the latter choice. I followed my own values. I followed my own beliefs. asking myself that question, if, when I'm 80 years old, God willing, will I be proud of this moment today that I had this decision that I need to make? And the question was quite easy. I will be proud of myself if I stand my ground in what I believe in, following my values and questioning like, what are my values? Okay, so my values are this, and that. They're not bad values. They're pretty good
Amazing ones,
values,
I would say. Knowing
right?
you personally, I would say pretty
Like,
amazing ones.
so it's going back to me being young and confused and being in all that thing, all that essence of the confusion and the conflict. I realized, you know what? I'm not doing anything wrong here. The only problem I'm creating is me not following what you're telling me to do. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry to follow my
Yes,
own path.
yes, yes,
It
yes.
was a painful way to go, but it was worth every step. And today, as you know, I'm on the better side. Everything is great. Everything is good. Everybody's happy. You know, it's not. It's more about just overcoming that fear of attachment or losing whatever your whole community, whatever that may be.
Mm.
It's really that. It comes down to just following your own inner compass, really.
Yeah, and knowing also, I absolutely love that. And also knowing that on the other side of that is joy, is happiness, is inner peace. And
Mm.
it's not isolation.
No,
Because you might be
absolutely not.
isolated from certain people, but like you said earlier, those were not your people to begin with. And that might even be a path to connect to your actual real people
Oh, yes.
and opens up like brand new doors for you, right?
Yeah.
And brand new perspectives and opportunities to really deeply connect with the right people.
Yeah. Absolutely. And navigating these two cultures and cultural clashes and trying to find yourself in it is, like you said, it's a tough path. It can be painful. Um, you will see your people, that some people won't be your people, but if possible, surround yourself with people that give you the same energy, the support and whatever it is that you may need, because it helps a lot. And we both, I know, have had that kind of support system, big
Yes,
or small, doesn't matter. That's why like also strengthens certain relationships, so which is very, very good. So
it does.
to all the listeners out there, to our birdies, don't be afraid to walk your path, and if you can, surround yourself with like-minded people and get that support.
Yes,
Really.
I could
Mm.
not agree more, which brings us to our little exercise that we want you to do.
Yeah.
So grab a notebook and we're going to invite you to draw a circle and write your name in the center of the circle and create different branches out of that circle. So family, career, relationships, identity, values, traditions, and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. And when you've done that, look into each branch and write down the expectations that you have on yourself from the culture, from everything, and see how that lays out for you. And also be mindful of not writing what you think you should think, feel, and how you should act, but really how you actually feel about them,
Mm.
just to kind of find your path in the whole thing and kind of mirror yourself with the expectations that you might be facing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And once you've done that, we would invite you also to reflect on how, like, the difference between, like, the different feelings between these different branches. So,
Mm,
which ones feel heavy, for
mm,
instance, or which ones feel aligned with who you actually are?
mm. Exactly. And when you've done that, choose the one expectations from your map that feels heavy and challenge it, right? And
Mm.
how do we challenge it?
Well, one way of challenging it could be by, taking the time to sit with it and telling to yourself
Mm,
that you are allowed to choose what aligns with you, even if it doesn't match the traditional expectations or the cultural expectations that you are being subjected to. So
mm,
this is a very powerful way of challenging
mm.
us.
We would like you to take a picture of your map and share it with us, either by, sharing it through our DMs or email, either way that suits you. And if you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to keep it for yourself, but we are excited to hear about your journey.
Yes, absolutely. And this is a huge step. So thank you so much, Birdies, for allowing us to share our perspective with you. And we are very much looking forward to hearing your personal experiences when it comes to cultural clashes, and hopefully also be able to help and support you navigate through them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And Tea team.
Birds flying high,
See you
you
next
know
week.
how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.